everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We are a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me is...
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What's up, Khalid?
Oh, man, I'm living the dream. We actually had... I'm just going to jump in. I know you're going to ask me what my week was like. I'm just going to jump into the coolest part of it. Okay. The Look Mira had the LA premiere at a theater at the Lamley NoHo last night.
Oh, dope. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was so crazy. And I always hope, but never in a million years did I think I'd get to see something that I produced in an LA theater. And the crowd was great. They really reacted to it well. Kate has some really exciting opportunities because of it that it's all just super exciting. And I'm just thankful that to LA Shorts that put it on, and to all the other filmmakers that I got to meet and connect with. It's just really cool. It's a lot like the Seattle thing, so I don't need to get into it, but I'm just really it was last night for me as of this recording, so I'm really buzzing off of it.
Well, that's good. I'm bringing that energy here. I love it.
Thanks, man. How was your week?
My week was fine. I mentioned before, I'm on summer break, so I got the kids just trying to pill every day as much as possible, because otherwise they get so stir crazy, and so do I. So we did a lot of fun outings, but nothing cool like showing a movie in a theater, like that kind of stuff. So I guess I can't really top that, but yeah, it was a fine week.
It sounds fun to me. Honestly, I like it. That sounds great.
Yeah. My daughter is just celebrating her 4th birthday, so that was probably the big exciting news of the week.
Can't believe the kid's 4. That's crazy.
4, right? Yeah. But anyway, that being said, we should bring in our guest today. We've got a guest, Khalid.
Yeah, we do. I am hyped for this one.
Yeah, joining us today is Steve Hernandez, who's a stand-up comic who runs Chatterbox Comedy Nights in Covina, right? What days is that, Steve?
It's every Sunday at 9. We've been doing it for 12 years. We're actually going to move it to 8 o'clock starting in August. So we've never done that before, but the people fucking want it, man. Okay,
people want it. Yeah. Next time in LA, I'm going.
Yeah, you should go. I can't believe I see my sister has my sister's a stay-at-home mom, and but she works at the school. So, but during the summer, they just drag these kids to everything every day. You're going to the zoo. You're going to the park. It sounds terrible. It sounds absolutely terrible.
It's better than sitting at home with them, because then they're just mad the whole time about wanting to do stuff. So I'd rather drag them to the zoo and all sorts. I'm bringing them to a brewery later, because there's a children's event at a brewery, which I'm into that. So. Well,
you get to see everything new through their eyes, I guess. You get that, right?
That's the bonus.
Exactly,
yeah. You get to go back to these things you haven't been to since you were a kid.
So we've been doing Chatterbox for 12 years. It's selling out a bunch, but we want to make it an hour earlier just to get for some of these work people. I feel bad. Whenever we have a holiday on Monday, it sells out in 2 hours, and so I'm just trying to make their lives just a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. I think Khalid sent you our questions. We have, so with every new guest on the podcast, I have a couple questions we ask you just to kind of set the mood for what we're going to be talking about. Steve, are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. So since we're a creature feature podcast, I always ask, in any realm of pop culture, which could be movies, TV, books, whatever, what's your favorite monster or creature? And if it's not the same, what do you think might be the scariest?
Let's see here. I think I have 2, and they're probably based in childhood. I think the scariest monsters forever. But I am Mexican, so my mom's took me going to horror movies when I was very small. You always do they have in Minnesota? Do they have Mexicans that bring 4-year-olds to rated R horror movies?
Yes,
I'm sure that they do. Yeah,
yes.
It's a thing here in Los Angeles. But I remember seeing Halloween and Halloween 2 when I was 3 years old, 4 years old, at the drive-in, and being as terrified as one can be. I have a very hilarious memory of me screaming bloody murder watching Halloween 2 at the drive-in and hiding in the backseat with my brother, gripping each other. So I do have to say Michael Myers. I had nightmares about Michael Myers until I was, I don't know, 23, 25, something like that. So I do think Michael Myers is my favorite monster. Would you guys classify him as a monster?
For me,
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Like, especially those like later movies. Like, he's, I don't know, now like the newest movie, he's like what, a 75-year-old man that's like basically Superman. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's huge in the new movies. That guy always haunts me. And then of course, the It miniseries on TV came out when I was like in 6th or 7th grade too.
Is that the Tim Curry one?
Yes.
Okay.
And that I don't even know how they put that on TV. That was on ABC Channel 7. It was a 2-parter, and the first part especially is so good. It's a masterpiece. But let me tell you about a monster that I think has not been explored, and I think this is as scary as we all know that Freddy Krueger was a pedophile, right?
Yes.
So how come these movies did not feature little kids?
Wait,
the Nightmare on Elm Street ones?
Yes.
I mean, he's such an already overpowered thing that like even teenagers is a stretch to beating him. I feel like kids would be useless. I can't. Although, I mean, I don't know. I guess It's done a good job of showing like kids fighting.
Yeah. So like, what if Nightmare on Elm Street did the It thing? Yeah, that's an interesting question.
I'm just saying, Freddy Krueger's a pedophile. He's hunting down little kids, and that's what Freddy Krueger would do. And so I think about this all the time, and these people are cowards, and it makes me so mad because he should be like hungering for the little kid genitals and chasing them down. And nope, we got, for some odd reason, teenagers.
I just can't imagine being able to successfully market that. I mean, you've sold me, I'd see it, but like, I don't know how you sell that movie.
You sell it now. We could do anything now,
yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's the most logical thing for him to hunt down teenagers. Makes zero sense completely. I know it's just think about how truly terrifying that is.
Well, isn't the first one thematically is like, or at least one of them was about he's going after the parents of the kids that burned him alive?
No, he's going after the teenagers of the parents that did burn him. So like, I think that's what it was. So like, the parents all knew the secret of Freddy Krueger, but the teenagers didn't.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Pedophile Freddy Krueger is in nightmare zone, waiting till these kids turn 17. Sorry. I'm not buying it, folks.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe that's why the remake didn't do well. I guess I remember people waiting for that. I guess
he would have jumped on it when they were fucking, preteens at the Scholastic Book Fair. I'm just saying, give me a fucking break. Why would he wait till they're almost adults? Grow up.
Just some kid minding his own business, trying to get the latest Captain Underpants, and Freddy Krueger creeps up on him.
Yes. Come on.
So we got to have you on our Freddy Krueger episode in the future, huh? You got takes.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's a nightmare, truly horrifying scenario that, and I think the world's ready for it. So
scariest monster is the potential of Freddy Krueger, but not what we got.
I mean, that is truly terrifying. But also, like I said, Halloween it still haunts me. I mean, nightmares for days. But the old guy where he walked like 5 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. You got a full head start, and for some reason, doors are locked. Mm-hmm. You're dropping things, and the guy catches up with you. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's classic. And you know who the mask is, right? Khalid, you know this, right?
Yeah, I do. I remember just now.
Yeah, it's a Shatner mask.
Yep. Loving that.
I love that.
Loving that. Was it Inside Out, or they actually just worked on it, right?
I think so. I think they just painted it white or something.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, it's so great.
So simple.
Yeah. My next question for you, Steve, is like, what do you consider yourself most geeky about?
We were talking about all the podcasts I've had. But I know I'm not a typical geek. I do play a little games. I started playing video games a little bit in the pandemic because I had nothing to do. but I really don't like putting my wife through that or anything, generally. But I will say that I just had a Bible called Read the Bible with Me with Steve Hernandez. And I do love the Bible as like Star Wars. So I do I know the Bible very well. I used to be a pastor, and I've through the years after I quit being pastor, I still theologically kept trying to make it make sense, and then ultimately it doesn't make sense. Ultimately, it's like made up. But I do love like talking to people who know the Bible well and explaining the early church, the teachings of Christ, how the early church came to be. And so to me, it's just like just like a nerd read the Star Wars books and knows the lore. Especially if I meet somebody who grew up in the church that knows the Bible well, I like to fucking nerd down hard about the Bible.
Wow. Interesting. That's definitely an answer we haven't had before.
Yeah, not even close. Yeah,
I don't see why the fuck you would have. That would be incredibly strange. But I do. In fact, I'm a bartender too at the Chatterbox, and just the other day, somebody was asking me, "Oh yeah, I heard you used to be a pastor." And then we started talking about the Bible, and I started explaining how after Christ died, the battle was really between Jesus' brother James and the Apostle Paul, and Peter versus the Apostle Paul. And they didn't know who any of these guys were, so I started just talking about all of it. And I was like, "What the fuck am I doing, man?" Like I felt like a real loser. I just got him another round on me.
I kind of like that you like put it that way. Like for me at least, especially like just growing up Muslim or whatever, and I'm just not that religious anymore now. Hearing like people talk about the Bible, I always kind of get a little bit of a red flag of like, let's see where this goes. But like to be able to say I'm nerdy about the Bible, I feel like, okay, I think I kind of get the approach you're taking at it. And it's way more like you're just talking about something you're interested in versus like, I'm going to have to try and not get converted in this conversation.
Well, I mean, it's so funny because I hadn't read the Bible or paid attention to the Bible for maybe 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I did when I started the podcast again, I was like, oh, I wonder what it'll be like to go back into this thing and not try to make it make sense that it's the inerrant word of God. Because I don't have, Christians have that responsibility. And I was like, I obviously don't believe that anymore. So what if I go back into it and just kind of figure out what the writers intended? And it's far more interesting. It's far more human. And it's all kind of just laid out there, too. It's not the idea that it is perfect and exactly from God is such a weird American thing that the authors of a lot of the books in the Bible did not even intend. These are people that the idea of what we think of as literal truth, they didn't even think like that.
Wow.
That makes sense. We have a way of fucking things up here in America.
All right, so let's stop fucking talking about this shit now, please.
Yeah. I'll link the podcast. I'm just looking at the podcast. I like the cover art.
Oh, thank you. It's Ed Bracia. He's a famous tattoo guy, but he started off as a regular at the Chatterbox when he was 21. So,
oh, it's great. It's great. I love it. I'm excited to listen to this actually. But yeah, you're right. I suppose we should dig into it. Khalid, what are we talking about today?
All right, guys. Today we are talking about the 1982 Steven Spielberg film E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And I've got a little synopsis from my homeboy Google. It goes a little something like this. After a gentle alien becomes stranded on Earth, the being is discovered and befriended by a young boy named Elliot. Bringing the extraterrestrial into a suburban California house, Elliot introduces E.T., as the alien is dubbed, to his brother and his little sister Gertie, and the children decide to keep its existence a secret. Soon, however, E.T. falls ill, resulting in government intervention and a dire situation for both Elliot and the alien. Yeah, government intervention got me too. Yeah, that's it. That's the description.
What a monster.
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
Boom. Yeah. Good description, Khalid.
Thank you.
Did you know? We'll get into the weeds of this for a minute, but I watched a special feature on the Blu-ray yesterday, and it sounds like, at least from Spielberg's perspective, this he kind of considers like just as much the writer's movie as his, because he like tasked convinced Melissa Matheson is the writer, and he convinced her to like jump in here, and so like she was like on set like making edits like with the kids and stuff, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So apparently he kind of considers it just as much her movie as his, although it's very personal to him apparently. But fun fact to jump right off. Anyway, what do you guys think of the movie?
Now, either one of you, when was the last time you saw this movie?
When I was a child.
I've never seen it before last night.
Goddamn, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Never?
Yeah, it kind of creeped me out as a kid. I'll get into it, but yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right.
This is the first. I saw a double feature of this and Annie, the first movie I ever saw in the theater when it was out. So I was 4 years old, I guess, and at the Highland Park Theater that still exists now. So this is the first movie I've ever remember seeing as a child. I hadn't seen it in, I don't think I've seen it as an adult at all. So I saw it afresh, anew.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Did it bring back memories for you?
Yeah. It was a lot quicker paced than I remember it being. But yes, this movie is a big deal to someone of my generation. E.T. Phone Home is something you say. I mean, it's some of the first things I remember saying for a long time. Also saying Elliot like E.T. I'm not doing it right now. But when I'm not gonna fucking do it. But I almost did it, but I'm not going to do it.
Please, Steve, just once.
But all that stuff, these are like burned into my like 4-year-old, 5-year-old mind. But it was great watching it again. E.T. is a monster. He is an alien. I didn't look at any kind of special features, but I'm sure they exist on how and why he was designed that way.
Oh, I got a bunch on that later. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't imagine a scarier version of an alien.
See, that's what I love about it, though, is like there's a world where like E.T.'s cute. You know what I mean? And it's like Star Wars, where the whole point is to sell a toy. But I feel like, especially with the idea of his most valuable power being that like he can kind of imprint on like plants or people, is like to be able to look past what would in any other scenario be like a wild animal you'd kill just on reflex, and to be able to like empathize with it and eventually even like love and befriend it. So that was interesting and like a cool decision, I thought.
So you think this ability to bond, as E.T. does with Elliot, you believe that that's some kind of survival mechanism?
It's a survival mechanism, but I want it on record right now that I am against it. I think it's weird that this alien planet's ambassador, the first thing it does is imprint on a child and then like accidentally get it drunk within 2 days. I think that's a bad look for E.T.'s planet. Like we wouldn't like send Michael Jackson to Jupiter. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of questionable things that happened in the first like 30-45 minutes of the movie that I can't get behind.
By the way, and this happens very quickly in the movie with Elliot, the fact that we say that there's even a binary with these creatures, right away, Elliot, out of nowhere for no reason, goes, he's a boy. I'm not buying it. We never at one time hear about Elliot checking this thing's genitalia or anything like that, or the fact that there are boys and girl aliens. We don't even know if that's a thing. I was truly hoping at the end when he goes, E.T. goes home, like, come with me, and Elliot goes, stay. I was like, please let them just start macking right now.
Oh, God.
Just start kissing.
Oh, God. It's bad enough that E.T. kind of makes out with a girl through Elliot. You know what I mean? Like on accident. Like it's that there's already so many layers of like inappropriate to this dynamic.
Well, I'm sorry. I know, Joe, I know you have kids, so I keep bringing up kids hooking up with monsters.
Oh, God.
But yeah, how is this creature like? I I mean, I don't want it in ET. I do really believe that about Freddy Krueger. I think about it all the time. I don't want Elliot
all the
the
time.
I mean, it's something I just think about all the time, and I'm not kidding. Like several times, like a year, I'll say that. But I don't really want Elliot and ET to hook up. I don't. But it would have been pretty cool if they would have just started kissing at the end, because he is in love with Elliot's in love with ET. And I know we're supposed to watch that like, oh, they're two like like friends that are boys. I'm like, grow up. I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, he's definitely at that age where like he starts asking the questions like, am I into boys, girls, or whatever ET is?
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah. No, that's a valid point there. And I mean, it's a choice. I don't know that it would have had the like lasting power or the staying power it does if they went that route, but it would have like set its own records for sure if it did that.
But I mean, you know, I think Spielberg does an incredible job of setting up like when he finally meets ET in the field, and even Gertie, you know, when she sees him the first time and they're just screaming, ET is terrifying. And, you know, thanks to movie magic and Spielberg, you end up falling in love with this fucking thing. This thing moves pretty quickly for something that really doesn't appear to have legs.
Yeah. Like, as in, like, there's not that much story there.
No. He literally doesn't have legs.
You're talking about
the actual
ET.
Yeah,
not
the actual ET. Yeah, I mean he can run fast, and you see his little feet like they're just kind of like nubs.
They're nubs, and this guy's beating FBI agents. And these granted, the FBI agents are weighed down with all these keys that Spielberg keeps
what is that
focusing on.
about? Yeah. No.
I can go. Oh, I mean, okay. So, Khalid, this is the first time you see the movie. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I liked it overall. I think a big part of why it's got like that cultural cachet is what you were talking about, where it's like people like you and Joe got to see it as a kid, and it was so like definitive in what you saw afterwards, versus me, who I saw so many of the influences of it that maybe refined some of the things that didn't grab me. But even with that all being said, like obviously like Stranger Things is probably the biggest like thing to crib from it in recent memory. I really, really like what Spielberg did with this. And I think a big part of that does come from like the child performances. These kids feel like kids. And I couldn't put my finger on it until I thought of Stranger Things and how like, I don't know if it's like a symptom of like just the attention span of like the modern audience, or because it's TV and you need your characters to be able to kind of just say exactly how they feel about something to move to the next plot point. But they never really feel like real kids to me. You know what I mean? Like they don't talk like real kids to me. They talk like sitcom characters. And then you get this movie and like everything the kids are doing just feels so real to like my childhood, and like how you're not dumb, but you're still not like smart enough to have the perfect saying at every turn. And on top of all of that, just like the raw emotion that comes with like finding this newfound like lover, like friend in ET. And yeah, I mean, it was great. As far as the agents, I thought for some reason, like especially that whole last third act, I just kept thinking how funny it is to like just be like walking outside of your house in like suburban California somewhere, and just 30 dudes in suits just like sprinting through the woods, and you have no idea what's going on. Like they're all wearing suits chasing after these kids on bikes, and it just looks like such a weird sight, and it works. And yeah, as far as the directing, there were just so many striking shots, iconic shots. Obviously, Amblin ended up making it like their logo for good reason. That's how, which is crazy to me, you know, that you have like such a crazy dynamic shot that it becomes the face of the company that produced it. And I'm in awe. I'm officially an ET fan. I'm glad I finally got to watch it, and I'm definitely going to revisit it down the line to see the stuff that I maybe missed this time.
Now, I want to jump in too, but let me ask you, Joe, did you see this with your kids?
I did not. I did not see it. No, I think that my older one could probably watch it, but she's not quite into like real people shows as much yet. She's showed a little bit. Actually, weirdly, the other day on TV, Pacific Rim was on, and she asked me to keep that on for a while. So I guess maybe she might be ready for this. I don't know.
I feel like as a kid, Pacific Rim's
Yeah.
like one of those ones, like especially if they start with the action scenes, they're not going to ask any questions.
True. Yeah, it was in the middle of a robot monster battle, so she was into it.
Yeah,
but I did not. I think that she'd be interested. She has an ET T-shirt, so she knows who ET is.
I think this is so. I think that's so interesting that you're kind of just seeing what she's into and like letting her lead the way to some of these things. That's great. I have some my cousins have kids who were. They're twins that are 8 or 9 right now, but Gremlins is a huge deal to our family.
Ooh, I love Gremlins.
Yeah. But if you, I mean, Gremlins is also like, I don't know when the last time you guys saw it, but it's like pretty scary for a little kid.
Absolutely, yeah. I watched it when I was really little too, and I remember that there are some scenes that stuck with me.
I mean, it's truly, if you watch Gremlins now. There's a point, it's about halfway through the movie when this thing is, one of those things kills like a science teacher. And there's a point where it's like, man, this is very, very scary. And also Spielberg produced Gremlins, by the way. Mm-hmm. But there's a point where this thing could be very, very scary. And then Spielberg just goes the other way. They just go the other way with it. And it's the point where the Gremlins ring a doorbell and start their kind of like prank Christmas caroling like these neighbors. Now, up until that point, they were not funny or anything like that. And I'm saying this all to say that all the little kids in our family now, like my cousin's kids or my nephews, we always like have been telling them about Gremlins, and then they get old enough where they're like, okay, like I'm ready to watch it now because it's so scary. But I remember my younger nephew was 8 when we finally watched it with him, and he was like getting scared the whole time, and my sister was comforting him and saying, it's okay, watch. They're just naughty. And and when the Christmas Carol scene happened, then they were comforted with like, he started laughing, and she said, see, they're just like you when you're naughty. And he's like, yeah, that's true.
Like you.
Yeah. It's so funny because with kids psychology and stuff, they say never call the kids bad or naughty or anything like that.
Yeah.
But my sister threw that out the door so quick. The older one's good, bad one, the little one naughty. He knows it. He's like one of the funny. He's 10 now, but he's like straight like the song "Bad to the Bone" when you're born, and the nurses know this one's naughty. It's really funny now. I don't know why I got into all of that. Probably because it's 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
Right. It makes sense. I mean, we're talking ET. It's going to remind you of childhood and like the children of today.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's kind of why. Oh, yeah, because, we were talking about that because I wanted to know if your kids wanted to see that. But as I was watching it again, too, the biggest standout. First off, did you guys see the Spielberg doc on HBO?
No,
I didn't see that.
It's a 2-parter. It's really good. And you really like appreciate him more. I'm not a huge Spielberg fan because I think he's such a fucking cornball, and you see so many cornball things in this movie. But the big standout thing in this movie for me, Khalid, I agree with you, is Henry Thomas and Drew Barrymore are so unbelievable in this fucking movie. And Drew Barrymore specifically is so funny and the cutest little kid you've ever seen. And like, she's so being authentically herself, and she's a superstar. The only child performance I could think of that equals this is the little kid from Jerry Maguire, which he was never in anything else.
Nicky? No, yeah. Hey, don't disrespect little vampires like that, Steve.
Oh, I'm going to.
They turned cows into vampires, Steve.
I've never seen that, but you're right. Now that I didn't know, I forgot he even did another movie. But
I did not.
not since Jerry Maguire has a kid had such an impact on the film just by being their adorable selves.
Do you see that kid got ripped now that he's like an adult? It was very off-putting. I don't think anybody was into it.
I have seen it. Yes.
He did not read the room when he made that call. Good for him. Probably healthy, but
sure, man.
Oh man.
No, I have to agree with you guys about the kids. I feel like I forgot watching it as a kid and watching it now, like how much of it was focused on like the trio of them, the three of them, as like a team with E.T. Like I thought, I remember it being like mainly Elliot's movie, but I feel like it's the kind of dynamic between the three of them is like a kind of an important core of the movie in that sense. Like they all kind of add something to that relationship, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I will say I call bullshit that they wouldn't all immediately tell everybody about this.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Like I know I was saying that like these feel like real kids to me. The one thing that didn't feel real is like there's no such thing as a kid that age that can keep a secret that good. Like,
well, they told Drew Barrymore not to tell anybody, and like the next scene, she's telling mom, so that felt realistic, even though mom didn't believe it.
Real, and I was gonna ask you because one, Drew Barrymore, yes, killed it. Definitely one of my most notable things about this movie, easily. She reminds me so much of your 4-year-old Joe, and it made me in that moment with that scene with her mom, like, go, okay, Joe, and you. I'll ask Nikki later offline, but. How long would Lena have to talk about this like new friend that she has that's like a gremlin or whatever that before you go, it's not imaginary, or maybe I should follow up?
No, honestly, like I've watched enough horror at this point where like right away when she says a weird thing, I'm in tune to it. Like I don't know if I told you this, Khalid. This is like, so she hasn't said too many weird things yet, but I was like in the bedroom with her, like, this was like months ago, and she was like, it was middle of the night. She called me in to help her go back to sleep, and she was like, "What's that on the floor?" And I was just like, "What the fuck is on the floor?" Like I was just like instantly not dismissive, like, "What is it?" And she's like, "It's a backpack." I was like, "Okay, there's no backpack on the floor." So I was a little bit dismissive, and then she's like, "Why does it have eyes?" And I was like, "Okay, fuck."
No,
I was like, I don't know. And so I turned on the light. I was like, "Nope, I gotta check this out."
That's why you moved, right?
Yeah,
that's why you moved.
That's why we're now. Yeah, that's why we're in a new house.
Okay.
Actually, so that's the story. Yeah. But no. For me, like the mom's so like. I mean, I know she's distracted, and there's like reason for it in the script and everything. But for me, like right away when a kid's like, "Oh, my friend from the moon," I'm like, "Where? Show me." You know.
Well, you got to remember, Khalid, this guy's like hanging out at zoos and breweries and shit. He's looking for anything. So
that's true. Yeah.
Gotta spice it up.
Yeah. So if the kid's talking about eyes with the backpack, you're like, all right, let's go with this for a little while. This will kill at least 15 minutes.
Look, best case scenario, I find a ghost. We're rich, kid. Like you're the only person that can point out ghosts. That's gotta be worth something.
Oh yeah, make a movie on that.
Nice.
Did you guys hear about the scrapped idea for the ET sequel?
I was gonna ask why, out of all of Spielberg's things, this didn't become a franchise.
Well, it sounds like he shut it down. But it was, so there's going to be a sequel, and the script was written. It's called E.T. Nocturnal Fears, and it sounds like traumatizing to the like. The idea is the kids from the first movie are lonely without E.T., and then a ship comes to pick them up, and they think it's ET, but it turns out it's these evil aliens with like white fur and fangs, and they're like antagonist race to ET's race. So they kidnap the children and violently torture them to the point where Elliot screams, "Awaken ET," and ET has to go rescue him from these evil aliens.
Bro, I am never going to count on ET for a rescue. I just nothing about that first movie has me going like that's my Han Solo. Like he's gonna get me in the nick of time. I will never scream for ET's help. That's such a dumb plot. Oh my god.
Yeah. So that would have been the sequel, but I think Spielberg was like, "Nah, that sounds awful, and let's just leave it as is." So that's cool, I think.
When we were watching it, there's that famous scene of just E.T. like beat up in a creek with a raccoon hanging out there.
Oh yeah. Like, do they find a raccoon, or was that just like that just happened?
Well, somebody in the movie when they're filming it, they put a raccoon there. You know what I mean?
They put one. Okay.
But it is shouldn't the I mean. I know I keep trying to make these things demented, but it was funny that the raccoon was just like hanging out near ET.
Yeah.
Before the cameras were rolling, the raccoon did stuff. If that's where you're going with it.
No, I mean, he should have been at least gnawing on ET or something, right? ET was fucked up, and then this raccoon's just hanging out near him. And then Spielberg was like, "We need a raccoon."
The sequel should have been E.T. coming back with a bunch of half raccoon babies trying to figure out what happened.
I did not bring that one up. Okay, guys, I just want to state that one.
I had to take some of the demented off of your plate. Share the love a little.
My wife, she said we were watching, and she said that part she remembers like hysterically crying when she was little, and they watched that because she was so concerned for E.T. I do think it was interesting watching it the second time around, but they really let the government off the hook in a lot of ways. I remember them being much more sinister, but then once in the movie, once they actually like you hear grown-ups talking, they're like just guys from NASA. Basically the Jodie Foster character from Contact. They're like, "Oh, gee, we just want to find out what's going on with these things." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on the government side on this one."
Oh
yeah, they
totally.
were a lot less scary than I thought. Than I remember. Like especially the guy who's just credited as Keys, the one we see like they get the crotch shots of mostly.
Yeah,
like he I thought he was gonna. I kept waiting for him to turn on them like throughout the whole time, like to like a heel drop where he was gonna be evil, but he kept just saying nice stuff, and then he just continued to be nice.
And what do you think the deal is with these kids still keep they lie to the mom the whole time for no actually that's a pretty good reason. And watching it this time as an adult, I think Spielberg did a good job where there's just like the mom's got a lot on her plate, and so they just don't want to bother the mom.
I will say, yeah, I love the single mom of it all. Like, especially like for me, like growing up with my mom, it was just me and my sister. But like, yeah, add a third kid into it, and you've got to try and do all of that. And then your ex is like gallivanting in Mexico, doing God knows what. I thought that was a great like extra touch to it, and it's a big part of like why Spielberg hits for a lot of people is he really takes the time to kind of like let you get what like the characters are going through on an interpersonal level.
Yeah.
And I do remember even being little, I think some of the standout things about this movie is at the beginning when they're playing Dungeons and Dragons and they order the pizza and she goes like, "Who ordered the pizza?" You kind of get the idea that they don't have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's a vibe you get through this, even though it's a pretty nice house and, for a single mom and all that stuff. But they don't have a lot of money. I remember being little and thinking, they don't show families like this on TV and movies a lot, where they're just very working class and almost poor, and then this alien drops on them. So I think that's another cool thing that Spielberg did was to make them like, oh, they're just like they're not you just don't see poor. Back then you didn't see poor people on a movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even now, like it feels like unless like the point of the story is that they're poor, you almost never see it.
Have you seen The Last Starfighter?
No.
No, not for a long time though.
Yeah, that's another great movie from our youth. It's a movie about this that there's like a galactic like association that fights evil in the universe, but they use this video game to they don't explain how.
Yeah, the idea is like the best video person at the video game or whatever.
They like save them. Yeah,
they go recruit them. I don't know how they're dropping this video game into other planets, by the way, but but on Earth,
it seems like a waste of resources if you're in as like serious a war as it is.
Yeah. And on The Last Starfighter, they leave this one at this kid's trailer park. So that you could see a lot of Spielberg influence too, where on that one, the kid lives in a trailer park in the video games, that one too. But we don't really, I guess Stranger Things, it's so funny that they really did rip off so much from Spielberg and they call it an homage, but until those fucking brothers do something that doesn't feel like a complete rip off, then I don't know if I buy it. What are they? The Duffer Brothers, right?
Duffer Brothers.
If anything, I hope they keep ripping off very like just like more and more obscure Spielberg stuff. Like if like the next show they do is just like a Catch Me If You Can rip off or something. You know, did he do the Terminal? What if they did their Terminal? What would that look like?
Should we monster it up, guys?
Let's monster.
So I got some deets about the monster effects, creature stuff. So like we all know already, like E.T. in universe is like kind of like a scientist, botanist character, like getting fauna from the trees and stuff or the thing. But he has some powers like healing, levitation, telekinesis, telepathy, smart, and he has this like ability to like have this extra sensory connection with plant life, which is pretty cool. But behind the scenes, we learn that there was like a concerted effort to make him like not cute, like we talked about before. Like Steven Spielberg said, so the effects guy was Carlo Rambaldi, who worked on Close Encounters, and Spielberg asked him to look kind of like squished, like mud, like naturey kind of thing, but also with the face. He said he wanted him to he gave him pictures of Albert Einstein, Ernest Hemingway, and Carl Sandburg, and then like said combine those people and make really big eyes that look kind of wise. And so that's sort of what
specific.
Rambaldi had to go off of. Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, super weird, but that's what he went off of, and from there he ended up making a bunch of different kind of concept art, but ultimately it took 6 months, $1.5 million to create 3 models. One was a mechanical one operated by a team of cable people, and then two were like suits, which were occupied either by 2 different little people who were on set, and then one 12-year-old who was born without legs, who actually did the suit work a lot too.
What?
Which is wild.
A kid without legs? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the kid without legs was the one who did it during the kitchen scene when E.T. was drunk.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Do we know? I mean, did they give the kid's name?
I'm sure you could. I didn't look it up, but like, I'm sure we could find that.
I mean, if I was that kid, I would never shut up about it. Like, I'd be like
sure,
50 right now, just like telling everybody.
Yeah. He's Matthew Demerit. That's his name. Yeah. He a kid actor.
Now let me dude, $1.5 million back then is a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it's a very expensive movie, I think, at the time, and it made a lot of money too, didn't it?
Oh, of course, it's one of
like one of the highest grossing.
I've got it here. It was like 700 million, $792 million, which is like just a little bit shy of like the $1 billion box office of Black Panther.
Yeah, and it's right. But I mean, like inflation wise too, like it was like it's still in like the top 4, like respectively, right?
Yeah,
which is absurd. So I mean, I guess it makes sense that they spend so much money on it. But it's interesting to think like at the time, like it was this completely original thing. So they're like, oh, we'll throw the money at it and see what happens.
It's just fascinating as a choice for Spielberg to me to like make this movie, especially like at that point when like he was kind of like in a very blank check phase of his career of like, if you're Steven Spielberg, you can make literally anything you want. What do you want to make? And he just added this to his roster of things that would like indelibly change pop culture.
So I read a little bit about this too, and it was on some of the special features, but it was after Close Encounters, he wanted to do a different kind of alien movie. And the original idea he had was this one, he was going to call it Night Skies, and it was going to be about a family whose like farm was terrorized by like 11 different aliens throughout the night. And he actually got Rick Baker, who did American Werewolf in London, to do the designs for different aliens. And if you actually look at Rick Baker's original designs for that movie that was never made, they like look like it almost an ET vibe. So when you got Rambaldi on, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it looks like they were kind of influenced by those original Baker designs, because Spielberg and Baker had a bit of a feud, actually. I don't know the details of it, but that's why Baker didn't work on ET.
Wow.
So anyway, but the movie kind of morphed. He's like, nah, I don't want to do this like malevolent alien thing. But eventually the ideas kind of split into like ET, Poltergeist, and Gremlins all together. Like all of those took ideas from this Night Skies movie that he originally was trying to do.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I got a link to the original Baker designs. He posted them on Twitter a few years back. I'll put it in the show notes.
Do they look like E.T.?
Some of them kind of do, yeah. I mean, they look like a meaner E.T. Like in that movie, apparently, that original script, there was supposed to be one of the 11 aliens that kind of befriends a kid, which is the storyline, through line he kind of drew from for E.T., it seems like.
And that feels like Gremlins then, right? He kind of does
Yeah, then
that
it's
thing.
like Gremlins. Yeah,
Yeah, because there's the bad guys, and for some reason, just what's his name? Gizmo is just good.
yeah. Just
For no reason. They don't explain
The
why
good one.
he's good. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
rest of them are naughty.
yeah.
That's got to be a bummer for the writer at Night Sky, though, or like whoever the creative team was behind that, to have so many like huge things come from it, but like you kind of just have to take it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I will say, as far as creature design, my favorite thing about ET was that he could just have like the best neck stretch of his life. It was
That was so cool. I like that. Yeah,
it
that
looks
was,
so
it was weird.
comfortable. Like I imagine being able to do that, and I'm at peace. You know.
Now, and he only stretched his neck like that when he was like scared, right?
Yeah, usually.
Or curious sometimes too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which seems antithetical to like, if you're scared, why would you want more of your neck showing? You know what I mean? That just, you're already such an easy target.
Anatomically, it doesn't make sense for you, huh?
Yeah, no, it's like, I don't know, like if you see like a mountain lion, do you want him to see more of your neck?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like when bears are how you're supposed to stand up tall maybe that's what it is. When you see a bear, you're supposed to get big to scare the bear, right?
I've always heard that, but I still doubt it, like on a gut level for some reason. Like
on a gut level, huh? It just doesn't vibe with you, huh?
Yeah, like instinctively, like the idea that I'm going to like big up on a bear just does not feel like right. It doesn't make sense.
I have to admit, I stopped listening when I heard the word bear. So I'm going to say, speaking of bears, Khalid, we're going to segue to one of Khalid's little bits, the 4 bear test.
Were your like ears just like throbbing when he said bear? Like, did your heart rate pick up?
I got really excited. Steve, I'm really good at transitions and segues as a podcaster. And so when I heard that one, I was like, oh, I'm ready for this.
I can tell you've been talking about the transition for a while now. That's the best talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve, for like just immediately recognizing this for what it is. Yeah. Okay. So Steve and anybody else who may not have like heard past episodes, the 4 bears test is basically this fun little like thought experiment I do where I ask what would happen if you replace the creature in question with 4 bears. Does the story stay the same? Does it change? It's kind of just a dumb thing about like how integral is the creature and what it is specifically to the story it's trying to tell. So for the 4 bears test with this one, it's a pretty straightforward fail. I think if Elliot found 4 bears in the wood, they'd eat him. And that would be the story. I don't think the government would care. They'd probably feel bad, or like some of them would if they heard about it, but that's not really their department, so they wouldn't show up. I also like, even if you do the whole thing where like they're like 4 alien bears, I don't know what the ET equivalent of a bear is to be able to answer that accurately, because the only thing we know of ET's home planet really is him and what he can do, and we're not even sure if his whole planet can do it. Maybe it's just him. Maybe he's like a weirdo. So yeah, this one is, I wish I had more to say about it, but like E.T., unlike a lot of the creatures we talk about, is like a very like mobility wise limited. He's faster than cops, I guess, but it's the way he moves, the size of him, like he's eye to eye with like a 7-year-old Drew Barrymore. It just doesn't work. So it's not fun, but it's a straightforward fail for me.
Let me ask you this. Now you brought this up, I forgot about this. Why does E.T. They know they left E.T. his family. Why does he need to call them again?
Wait, what do you mean?
E.T.'s like brothers and sisters or whatever, his family, the spaceship, they know they left him. And that was also a very sad scene too, when the guy's, his like buddy or whatever was like screaming for him, and then the drawbridge just goes up, and then they take off. And then he uses the speaking spell to call them again, to say, hey, come get me. I mean, why were they waiting for a call? Why wouldn't they just come get him?
I mean, the universe is a big place. You know what I mean? If my buddy hits me up and he's like, "Yo, I need you to pick me up. Like, I'm somewhere in like Highland Park." I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. You know what I mean?
What if you and your buddy are taking a road trip and you leave him in Flagstaff? Do you need a call to go back to Flagstaff?
So specific.
Because I don't like this. I don't like Khalid how he's like making it like you're around town or something. Because they're not. They're in a far place in the universe.
If I've never been to Flagstaff and I've got a lot going on, maybe I need just a little bit more information.
I took it as like the aliens might, because they were waiting for him to show up, and then he never showed up, and I was thinking that maybe they left because they thought he was captured or dead, and so he was trying to phone home to say like, no, I'm alive and ready to be picked up.
Okay, that is all right. I like that. That's a pretty good answer, I think.
Yeah.
How about you, Joe? I'm assuming the Four Bears test is just a fail for you.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It sometimes it's just that straightforward. You know, it's a weird test to begin with, so it's a miracle I have more to say on other ones.
I'm going to circle back to another transition point. I heard you guys say, somebody said the phrase eye to eye. And I thought, speaking of eye to eye, Khalid, would you fight or would you flirt with E.T.?
You are just bending over backwards for these transitions, buddy.
Speaking of bending over backwards, Khalid, would you fight or would you flirt with E.T.?
All right. So yeah, Steve, audience who may be new, fight or flirt. This one's more what it sounds like. Would I fight or flirt with the creature if I had to like save my own life? I understand that E.T., as this movie presents him, is not really a threat. So it makes sense on its face to say that I would flirt with him. But I think I've brought up a lot of very valid concerns about what E.T. can do vis-a-vis the imprinting. I don't think that's okay. I feel like that's some sinister shit. I do get it on like a survival mechanism thing of like, okay, if I don't know how to speak with you or communicate with you, I need a way for you to like feel what I feel. But it also is just like, E.T. is like pure of heart intentions or whatever like that. But if he ever feels like being like a shithead, that's the kind of power that like you could just like destroy someone with. And like, I just don't want to get into the psychological head trip of like what a relationship like that would be. And I know that usually with fight or flirt, we're talking about monsters and creatures that don't on its face look attractive or anything anyway. But E.T. to me is an especially like upsetting to look at creature, which is a factor here. And it's also a part of why I would fight him. So yeah, it's a fight for me.
God damn it, Khalid.
What?
You're fighting E.T. I figured you would, but I was like, no, he can't. But yeah, he did.
What do you mean I can't, Joe? He got a kid drunk within like a day. Like
he's defined by the concept of radical empathy, Khalid.
It's a little
like
too
his whole thing.
It's a little too radical, you know? Like is he ever going to make room for my emotions? I don't think so.
I think he feels his emotions, right? Like E.T., I think E.T., it's like two ways, right? Doesn't E.T. feel like Elliot stuff?
I don't know, man. It's too much for me. Maybe I'm just a commitment phobe and that just is like too much connection. And I could be saying more about myself than I'm willing to admit.
You're a cynical commitment phobe.
I mean, I alluded to this earlier, but I'm having sex with this alien.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah. As soon as E.T. got scared like that, the first thing I'd be like, hey, what'd that mouth do? I'd be like, come on, bring it over here, you little guy.
The first thing, Steve? The first thing? Like,
as soon as I see that those teeth are flat and not sharp, I'm going to town, man. Okay?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I really hope you're somehow involved with first contact if it ever happens on Earth. It's not so much flirt for you as it is enthusiastically pursue.
Yeah, I guess this is bordering assault. I got to watch how I'm talking about what I would do to E.T., okay?
I mean, I want to think the best of you and assume that this hypothetical is still consensual. It's just like way more you're into it than he is, or it is.
Yeah, the hand lighting up, moving me around. Yes, I want to see what we can do together when we're both passionate. Yes.
Wow.
It's like how greetings get lost in translation. I guess that's just what E.T. would assume that human greetings are like.
Yeah, honestly, you might be fucking up his expectations for the rest of humanity. Like nobody's gonna go that hard like you, Steve.
Oh man. All right. I know we're coming up on that hour, Steve. I think Khalid said we should we'd stick to about an hour. But we'll segue to our final segment of the show and just say it's been fun chatting ET with you, and I think that we all enjoyed the movie. You guys liked it overall, right? We all said good.
It was a fun
thumbs
watch.
up.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally got around to it.
Yeah, I think it was fun.
Yeah, and if I had kids, I would look forward to showing this to them.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun. Steve Spielberg loves like he puts kids in every one of his movies. You'll notice, and he always like he loves exploring wonder and the childlike wonder. That's a little corny, but it would be good to watch with your kids, I think.
For sure. This movie is just like exudes that childlike wonder. It's like defines it really. So yeah, it's a fun one. I'm excited to watch it with the kids someday. I think have like rewatching it kind of like spurred that in me. I'm like, yeah, let's get that going sometime soon. But anyway, last thing we do on Frankenstein's podcast is we do a fun segment called What the Fandom, or WTF, if you will, where we all go around and share one thing that we're just into, watching, listening to, whatever that reading, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to do anything with monsters or ET, just something that you want to plug or share about that you're kind of digging right now. So Steve, since maybe I don't know if Khalid told you about this segment, I'll let you go last, but Khalid, are you ready with your What the Fandom for the week?
Yeah, my What the Fandom is going to be this cool straight-to-video movie that just came out. It's called Gatlop. It's Gatlopp, and it's really cool. The simple elevator pitch is it's Jumanji for adults, and it's this group of like 4 friends. One of them's going through a divorce. 2 of them like dated for a while, and now they don't. And it's all these things, but it really, like, when I say Jumanji for adults, I don't just mean like it's like they're swearing and like it's a little raunchier. It's like literally the whole point of the board game in this movie is to try and like get them to understand like and untangle what's become like a really messy relationship for all 4 of them. And I think it's the kind of thing that especially like people in our age group who like have that kind of like circle of friends where the lines get blurry or confusing and boundaries can get kind of overstepped. It's really good at addressing all of that while still coming up with like really funny and like crazy ideas for what the board game can do to them. And I kept like watching it thinking, okay, this is probably going to like peter off at some point, but it really just got like better and better as it went along. It's not going to like blow your socks off by any means, but if you're looking for a fun date night movie or something just like really cool and at least fresh for compared to a lot of the stuff that comes out these days, this is a really good watch. And I find myself even now, like over a week later, having seen it, still thinking about it in a positive light. So the movie is Gatlop. I found it available on Amazon to rent, but it might be available elsewhere by the time this episode comes out. And
awesome, Khalid.
Yeah, and Joe, what the fandom with you?
Oh, thanks for asking, Khalid. I was just going to say that I love direct-to-video movies, so I'm excited for that. I don't know if direct-to-video is even a thing anymore, but yeah, I'm in that. Anyway, yeah, my fandom for this week, I'm actually going to plug the Peacock show we've been talking about, Khalid, Killing It with Craig Robinson. I been looking for something new that's kind of funny to watch, and I just started it. It's I think the whole show is out now, but it's one of the creators is Dan Gore, who did Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and so he's got a good track record there. But it's really fun. It's the premise is basically Craig Robinson's kind of like a down in his luck guy who wants to be a businessman, struggling to make his pitch, and then he meets this other woman who's from Australia, who is his Uber driver, and she shows him that if you kill certain kind of anaconda in Florida, you get paid for it. So they end up teaming up and enter this competition to kill snakes that are invasive species in Florida. And for such a weird premise, it's actually like really heartwarming at times. It's really sweet sometimes. It's very silly and dumb and raunchy sometimes, but it's very, very sweet, surprisingly. So it's very
poignant too. The one thing that like I feel like doesn't get brought up a lot when people bring up Killing It is it takes place squarely during the Trump election, or the Trump years at least.
Yeah, I'm not fully done with it yet, but yeah, there's definitely like undercurrents of that so far. So I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. Like it seems like it's willing to take risks that a lot of like the network shows normally don't go there to those kinds of places. So
Yeah.
it feels like a step up, like a stepping stone from like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine show to something like this, and I kind of like seeing that. And I'm really happy to see Craig Robinson get something like good that he can be like showcased as like the star, like having been so disappointed when Ghosted came out in 2017. Like I wanted that to be good so bad, and it was so not good.
No, Craig's great. And then shout out to Claudia Doherty. She was in Love as well.
Yeah, she is so good as Jillian.
Yeah, she's an Australian actress, and like she is so good at just like hitting that weird register, and she really like gets it to shine in this show, like even more than in Love. Like she gets to just be like weird, and she kills it.
For sure. Yeah, so that's my recommendation for the week. How about you, Steve? You got something you're into lately?
Yeah, we're obsessed with The Old Man on FX and Hulu.
Is that good?
It's incredible.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Is it like have you seen The Bear? Because everybody said The Bear was incredible, and I kind of went meh.
I like The Bear, but I can get why you didn't like it.
Yeah.
What they do on The Old Man is it's unbelievable.
Okay.
It's so nuanced and layered. I'll just tell you the beginning stuff is that what's his name? Who's
Jeff
the Big
Bridges?
Lebowski? Yeah, Jeff Bridges. The show opens up with somebody breaks into his house and he kills the guy, and then it turns out he was an old agent for like a government agent who would kill a bunch of people and stuff for in the Middle East, and then it turns out that he one of like the warlords that he was like embedded with, he ends up stealing one of those guys' wives. Brings her to America, gets married to her, and they go underground for like 30 years. And 30 years later, this guy, the warlord, like finds him.
Wow.
And so the wife is dead, but he has some kid somewhere, and then it awakens. His handler was what's his name from Third Rock from the Sun? John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
So the government goes to Lithgow and say, "Hey, we found the guy. All this crazy shit's happening." So it's got this crazy like Middle Eastern like subplot thing going on. He ends up kidnapping a woman. There's this like a older person romantic nuance thing going on, and there's things between him and Lithgow. I just haven't seen a show this good in a long time, but it's The Old Man. It's on FX and Hulu, and we eagerly await each new episode that comes out.
You sold me, man. That's next.
Yeah,
to
I was
me.
gonna say the same thing.
That's
Yeah,
next
that
on the
sounds really
list.
cool.
Bridges and Lithgow. Ooh.
Yeah, and Bridges, like there are times it's like such an adult drama, but there are times when he just like kicks someone's ass and like murders some people and stuff. And
He's a big guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I love that kind of old like Jason Bourne thing too.
Nice.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
That's so cool. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for joining us this week. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks so much for having me, fellas.
Yeah, I just want to say too, Steve, like it was really cool over the last few years in LA that were like my first coming out here, finding your podcast and hearing you, Honor, and Zed, especially on VFV. It was really nice every week to kind of be able to like reliably listen to you guys and just kind of have your like dynamic, especially like in traffic and stuff like that. And I just want to say, like, as somebody who came to the podcasting thing only recently, like the way you guys did things and what you did on your other shows was like a really, really in the back of my mind when we were making this show. So thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. I love podcasting, and it is I almost everything I do. I really love having relationships with people. So it's always fun to build something with people that you like and get along with, and to talk to them every week and to plan and build something. I mean, that's the main reason I do almost any of this shit. I still obviously Zed and Honor are some of my like best friends still, but I love talking to them every week. It's so fun, and I think we live in this fucked up capitalistic society that's always trying to just get us to be productive. It's so nice just to have something based around friendship, and I think podcasting is so incredible for that.
Couldn't agree more, man.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And then, Joe, did you have anything else to add?
I was just gonna say, Steve, is there anything you want to like plug like social media sites or any projects you're working on that you want to say before we wrap it up?
Just find me at Big Hern on Twitter and Hernia on Instagram. Also, I'm headed back to Facebook, guys.
Back to Facebook.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I felt so bad, but I started making reels for Instagram on TikTok. The president of Instagram basically said we're done with pictures. We don't care. We don't care about pictures anymore. All we care about is reels. And I've kind of figured out how to make those, and that's fun to do. But I was like, well, whatever. I used to post pictures and kind of like captions, make funny captions and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder what's going on. You know, they have Facebook stories now. I said, I'll put a reel over there on Facebook stories.
Wow.
And I put a reel on Facebook stories, which I never would, you know, we were all done with I got off of Facebook like in the middle of the pandemic completely. It became uncool a while ago, but just like, you know, I was just arguing about cops and stuff with people during the pandemic. And so, but I put up that reel and it tells you who watched it on Facebook. And I was like, oh man, I've abandoned all these old people. Like they're all my friends from high school and people I used to work with at TGI Friday. I mean, it's all old people, you know, TGI Fridays and my friends from church. And I'm like, I got to go back. I'm going to start making some content for them too. But you can find me at Big Hern on Twitter, Hernia on Instagram. I'm all over there, and I have a good time on those.
Nice.
All right, cool. I'll put those as links too. So yeah, I'll leave it. Take it away, Khalid.
Cool. Yeah, and then thank you all for listening. I just have one last thing to say real quickly. About a couple weeks ago now, or maybe it was a little less than that, but a local LA comic who's gone on to start to be bigger passed away suddenly at the age of 28. His name was Jak Knight. I didn't have a personal relationship with anything like that with him. It was very much just like I was a fan of what he was doing. You might have seen him in Big Mouth as one of the voice actors. I know he also wrote on that. I had in a previous What the Fandom recommended his Peacock show, Bust Down. And I just wanted, like, the death just like really hit me in a way that I hadn't felt since Bernie Mac, which I think if anything speaks to the potential that Jak Knight had as a comic and a creative, that he could make me feel the same like pain of loss as like a comic who I had over 30 years of comedy to be able to pull from and connect to. I really think it speaks to what he still had to offer the world, and just seeing the outpouring of love from the comedy community for him, and understanding just like truly what a loss this is for all of us in a lot of ways. I don't really have that many platforms to ever say anything like that. But I do here right now. And I just want to say, like, rest in peace, Jak Knight. My heart goes out to his friends and family. That has to be just like a heartbreaking thing to go through. And we're going to add a little clip of his stand-up at the end of this episode, just so that anybody who may have never heard him can check it out. But if you haven't, find his other work too. Even in his very short time on this earth, he did a lot of really great and significant things. And I think it's just a reminder to appreciate the people that make you happy and bring you joy. And remember that this life of ours isn't guaranteed, so make the most of it. And with that being said, creep it easy.
Mostly niggas, white people in here, that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
I don't like when black comics come on stage and bash white people. It's like, they know what they did. God gonna get them. I'm not gonna sit up here and fight that fight night in, night out. I got pussy jokes to tell, my nigga. You know what I mean? I'm an energy dude. I listen to Erykah Badu. I do a lot of shrooms, nigga. You know what I mean? Whatever you put in the earth, you gonna get back. Like, look how it went from the crack epidemic to the opioid epidemic, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, a thing that was ravishing poor black communities to a thing that's now ravishing poor white communities. It's just like, And how it all all correlates with hip hop. Hip hop was this beautiful fucking new art and new genre of music that no one ever heard of. Came out of the crack epidemic, this rose that busted through the cement that changed everything. 25, 30 years later, it's the biggest form of music in the world. It's pop music. Everybody listens to hip hop, but the biggest artists are who? Migos, Travis Scott, Young Thug, Future. What they do? They go on stage and talk about doing drugs and doing lean and doing pills. And most of their fans are young white kids, so it's just these rappers influencing young white kids to do pills. And I'm just like, good. Praise God, y'all. Praise God. It took 30 years, but tag you in, nigga. No tag back to Canadians under the monkey bars, cuz. That's not even coming from a place of malice. We all know art, the best art comes from trauma. So this is white people's opportunity. Pick up an instrument. I'm trying to hear these Benadryl bangers, nigga. Why are there no funny opioid addicts? Huh? Why are there no funny opioid addicts? We all know a funny crackhead. White people take their trauma way too seriously. There's always some fucking Showtime documentary. Oh, we dying. Nigga, everybody dying. Shut up. Black people be on the crack like, nigga, you wanna go do cartwheels on the train? Like, yeah. White people take their trauma so fucking seriously. They be fucking, there's no funny opioid addicts. All they do is run in the middle of the street and scratch their face. Nigga, they ain't funny. Crackheads are hilarious. They be popping out of microwaves, throwing croissants at fat kids and shit. And you be like, who did that? That nigga ice skating from tree to tree. You're like, yo, he having fun. He's silly. He's silly as hell. And I'm sorry, I'm a raggedy nigga. You can call me what you want to call me. I just don't believe with the. I read, nigga. This earth gonna be gone 2030. We don't got time to all love each other. We don't. Get over it. We just need to all hate each other equally.